Hey guys, thanks for taking some time just to listen to a few nuggets, specifically as you go into your fourth session of your Beyond Small Group. And really there's only two things that I want you to remember. The first one is specifically on your outreach project. Now I want you to know that your outreach project is not necessarily part of the curriculum because we want you to focus on the Beyond series. But the reason why we included the outreach project is because what I've noticed about small groups is that when they go out and they do something to serve the community, it bonds them in ways that nothing else does. So this is what I want you to do with your group this time around. By the time you're done, I want to make sure that you've talked about this. You have a packet, talk it through, give some different even options. As a matter of fact, when you're done with the group, make sure that you've nailed it down to no more than two options. And the other thing is you want someone to own that piece. And what that means is that you'll want someone to put their hand up and say, I'll help with that, I'll look into that. And what they're going to do is just make some phone calls and find out availability so that when you come back to the next group, you've got a plan that's clearly in place with time and date and project that you guys are going to do, maybe sometime in November, maybe even sometime in December. But most important that you plan it, you nail it down, and that in this group, you guys have nailed it down to at least two projects that you could potentially do. The second thing that I want you to remember when it comes to this fourth study is that at this stage of the game, people will start to ask, what next? What are we going to do? And I want you to put it out to your group. Just let them really start thinking about what they might want to consider. They may want to continue this group. They may want to consider doing some different kind of study, or maybe even getting into another kind of group. But more than anything, get them to start thinking and even praying about what it means for them to be in community. Our hope and prayer has been that throughout this experience, there's been such sweet community that they'll want to continue in that group. And I'm going to encourage you as the leader to consider continuing to lead that group as we start 2008 in January with this new group season. But most of all, I just want you to put it out there for them to consider what's their next step. And by the time the group is done, make sure that you've had even a light discussion about that, even some ideas. If people would like to continue, what are some ideas that they'd like to look into, studies that they'd like to have, topics that they'd like to discuss? More than anything, remember, leave it in prayer, put it out there, let them sit with it, and then revisit it in session 5. This is when we start getting to the end of this group experience. And our hope and prayer has been that this has been something that has changed you, has moved you as a leader. Because really, as leaders, we can't take someone to a place that we're unwilling to go ourselves. So hopefully God's been doing some business in your heart so that you can even communicate that to your group.